this hearing, Mr. Crum and I made a motion to quash the subpoenas addressed to Mr. Lawson and some 18 other witnesses whom we represent. And you indicated at that time that this would be the appropriate occasion in which to present our arguments for the quashing of the subpoenas on the ground that this committee is illegal and unconstitutional, both in the manner in which the authority given to it by the Congress has been executed and by the terms of that authority itself. Can we proceed at that time with that motion? And at that, also, Mr. Crum has a motion relating to the recalling of certain witnesses with an opportunity to examine. I would like to present the motion to quash first.
Mr. Kenny, didn't you give us a brief in connection with that motion?
There has been a brief submitted. However, I would like the opportunity to argue it orally to point out.
I'm listening to Kenny.
We do, based on the conduct of this committee last week. We think two additional evidences of the illegality of this committee came out. One, in attempts by members of the committee to dictate to various producers the content of films that are to be produced. And second, then effort indicated by questioning to induce the motion picture producers to create a blacklist, to hire men not on the basis of ability but on the basis of political belief. Now, both of these, we say, indicate an unconstitutional purpose, a purpose to invade the domain protected by the First Amendment, which is the provision that Congress shall pass no law invading the freedom of speech or of conscience. And
those 2 points then constitute your additional information.
Those two, plus, of course, we have a statement on that which we could
Mr.
find.
Chairman.
Just Mr. Kenny.
Chairman, the points which Mr. Kenny has set forth, if he has a remedy, it is in the courts of the land and not before a committee of Congress. A committee of Congress can no more set aside a law than it can do any other thing. Therefore, Mr. Kenny should go into court if he seeks any remedy on the points which he has submitted to the committee. And I see no point for the committee to interrupt its proceedings to permit Mr. Kenny to stand up and make a lot of points which he knows are out of order before this tribunal.
Just one brief response to that, and that is the committee is the servant of the Constitution just as much as the citizen is, and certainly Congress should be given the opportunity, or any committee of Congress, to consider whether or not it is proceeding constitutionally. It's quite true, as Mr. Stripling says, that the courts are open, but I believe that the first opportunity should be given the person who first is accused of proceeding illegally. Now, the committee has this opportunity at this time to consider the basic constitutional principles under which it is proceeding, and I think it would be the first time that this committee ever has done that, and I think that if we are given that opportunity, the committee might well rule with us if they can hear our arguments out and give them full consideration.
Committee will leave the room and go into executive session.
Have you hand these to you, Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Thank you.
This is the unanimous decision of this subcommittee. It is the decision on the brief which you submitted, plus the 2 additional points.
Yeah.
No committee of Congress has the right to establish its own legality or constitutionality. A committee of Congress cannot disqualify itself from the provisions of the law. We operate under Public Law 601. We cannot set aside this law to suit the convenience of certain witnesses or their counsel. As a former Attorney General of the state of California, you certainly know that your remedy, if any, is in the courts. Mr. Stripling, the next witness.
John Howard Lawson.
Mr. Chairman, may
I'm
I
sorry,
request
I'm
the right of
sorry,
cross-examination? We ask you to bring back and permit us to cross-examine the witnesses Adolph Menju, Fred Niblo, John Charles Moffett, Richard McCauley, Rupert Hughes, Sam Wood, Ann Rand, James K. McGinnis.
You don't have to name any more. That request is denied.
In order to show that these witnesses lied.
That request is denied. Mr. Stripling, the first witness.
John Howard Lawson.
Oh, you want that?